Hey, Dom here, weight loss coach. And today I'm going to be going over how to lose weight with a calorie deficit. So we're going to be talking about some of the different components of losing weight based on a calorie deficit, and also how to do some calculations based on how much weight you want to be losing per week. So we're going to touch on losing 1 pound of fat per week or 2 pounds of fat per week, and what it'll take calorie-wise to put into a deficit to be able to reach those goals. And then also how physical activity will play a part in helping you reach a calorie deficit. Because that's the main basis of losing weight, is having a calorie deficit, either from less calories in or burning more calories out, say with physical activity and exercise. So I'm going to pull up what I want to do, my presentation here. So I'm going to share that. And here it is, how to lose weight by calorie deficit. And we're going to touch on how you're going to be able to calculate some of those equations that we're talking about. So energy balancing equations. So here we have three different equations here that are really important to note. So one, if caloric input, so say like food, equals caloric output, so that's like calories being burned, physical activity, also BMR, so that's basal metabolic rate, so it's your metabolic rate. A person will not gain or lose weight. So if it equals your metabolism is 2,000 calories a day you need, and you're eating 2,000 calories, so you're going to stay the same. You're not going to lose weight, you're not going to gain any weight, you're going to stay at the same weight. So then two, so if caloric input exceeds output, then a person gains weight. So again, 2,000 calories, say you needed, and now you're eating 2,500 or 3,000 calories a day, you're going to be gaining weight. This is calorie surplus. And then three, so if output, so physical activity, exceeds input, the person loses weight. That's how we're going to touch on physical activity as well. So how many calories are burned for 1 pound of fat? So, well, what does it take to burn 1 pound of fat? So it's 3,500 calories. So 1 pound of fat loss, you have to burn 3,500 calories. So this is when we're touching on losing a pound of fat per week. So having a calorie deficit of 500 calories a day is a really good starting point for most people. So 500 calories per day of a deficit times 7 days a week. So 500 times 7 equals 3,500 calories for the week, which is really good. So that's 1 pound of fat loss per week, 3,500 calories. And if you kept doing that every week consistently, it would really add up pretty quick. So if you did that 1 pound a week, so 4 weeks in a month, so that's 4 pounds of fat loss per month. And then if you did that by 52 weeks of the year, boom, 52 pounds fat loss for the year. So it's really impressive. 12 months, it's really not that long of a period of time, and maybe losing 50 pounds. Some of you guys might not have 50 pounds to lose, so it'll take less. Some might have a lot more than 50 pounds, so it might take a little bit more. So now let's touch in what it would take to burn 2 pounds of fat per week, so you could kind of really maximize, especially if you had well over 50 pounds, 100 plus pounds to lose. You don't want to lose it by really restricting, say, being a weight loss program, diet, exercise for years. So 2 pounds of fat represents 7,000 calories per week now. So that's having a calorie deficit of around 1,000 calories a day may be appropriate for some people who are obsessively overweight, obese, and consuming an excessive amount of calories per day. So say if it really should be recommended to be eating, say, 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day, depending on your age and physical activity level, and you're eating 6, 7, 8, almost 10,000 calories a day, and I know it's very extreme, but some of you could be really eating that many calories. And it's not as hard as you think to be eating many thousands of calories more than your recommended caloric intake. So 1,000 calories per day, deficit 7 days per week. So 1,000 times 7, that's going to be 1,000 a day. So it's going to be 7,000 calories per week. So 1,000 a day might seem a lot, but if you're already consuming, say, 35, 4,000 calories a day, which is really not that ridiculous at all. So now you drop that down to more like 1,500 calories. You get an easy 1,000 calorie deficit there. That could do it for you. So 2 pounds of fat, and that'll be 2 pounds of fat loss per week, 7,000 calorie deficit. So that's going to be 8 pounds of fat per month if you're losing 2 pounds a week. And that's going to be a little over 100 pounds per year lost, which is really good. So 100 pounds is a huge amount of weight. So if you're there, that you have to lose 100-pound mark, you can get it done in a year. You can get it done in 12 months. You really could, if you're really sticking to this consistently, 1,000 calories per day, which is a really good thing. So creating a calorie deficit with physical activity and food. So it's not just super restricting your diet where you have to have 1,000 calorie deficit just by eliminating many different food groups. Obviously you're going to have to eat way healthier. Low carb is going to be key. Low fat is definitely recommended too, because it's just less calorie dense, calorie packed. But doing some physical activity, especially if you haven't been doing any physical activity at all, and you're very sedentary, is going to be big. So having a calorie deficit of 1,000 calories a day is going to be appropriate for some, like we talked about. And this is going to be talking at for the 2 pounds, because we got to have a higher deficit of 1,000 calories per day. So say only 750 calorie deficit from food, which is not that bad at all. I mean, that could just be one less sandwich per day, one less huge chocolate chip donut, muffin, cake, something like that, that is mega calorie packed and dense, but not doing too much nutritional wise. And then another 250 calories deficit from physical activity. So it doesn't have to be exercising, because it actually could take a lot to exercise, but it's moving throughout the day and having a good exercise routine. You could do that. And especially if you're excessively overweight and you have 50 plus pounds and you've been very sedentary, you're going to be burning calories at a higher rate because you have so much extra weight on your body that's going to burn calories quicker than if you didn't have much weight at all. And you're going to get the biggest impact once you start doing that physical activity if you haven't been in the past. So then that's how you can get your 1,000 calorie total deficit. So it's not super crazy restrict on the food, but then you're having physical activity for calorie deficit. Also, when you're doing cardio and a little bit of weight training as well, that's going to preserve muscle mass. That's going to help preserve, especially the muscle under the skin. It's going to help collagen. It's going to help reduce any extra hanging skin if you have excessive weight, like 100 plus pounds to lose. So that's a good thing, incorporating physical activity, especially a little bit of weight training as well. It's going to be very important to have a healthy looking weight loss as well. So and that's how you're going to reach your numbers of 2 pounds per week, 8 pounds per month, and 104 pounds lost per year if you stick with it consistently. So some of the benefits of physical activity and weight loss, like we said, every person has a metabolic set point due to their body weight and body fat percentage. So depending on your body weight and percent body fat, because someone could be 300 pounds but still have a good amount of muscle and fat, or someone could be 300 pounds with very little muscle mass and most of that is body fat. So body composition is going to be in play there. So while on a significant calorie deficit, the body starts to compensate and then their basal metabolic rate. So we talked about that. The BMR may drop to maintain body fat. So your body doesn't really like to lose body fat, especially if you've been at a heavy weight for many years. Your body is saying like, this is normal, this is good. I have plenty of energy stored as fat in case we don't get food for a while, famine, drought, stuff like that. We don't usually have to worry about that anymore. It's not really a big factor, but our bodies still think that. It puts you in survival mode. So it likes to have all that excess fat. That means you got a good reserve. But when we're trying to lose weight nowadays, we don't need that extra reserve of body fat. So that's why it's tough. So when you start to really restrict, now it's going to be a little bit harder because your body's will be like, oh, I don't want to lose these extra calorie reserves. I want to hold that. It's kind of like a survival mechanism. But that's why starting to exercise can help kind of break that. That's why you might hit a plateau, so you can help break a plateau that way as well. So it can slow or stop weight loss, you can hit that plateau, but that's why the increased physical activity is so important for weight loss to maintain lean muscle mass and burn calories. So you can kind of break through that, be like, okay, we're being more physical active, we have to be able to meet those energy demands of my body, so I'm going to release some of those extra reserves I don't need as much. So that can really be helpful, and also staying extremely hydrated is very important too. I want to touch a little bit more on exactly how much water we should be having as well in another video. But hopefully that helps explain kind of the benefits of physical activity and calorie balance there. So that's how you would calculate 1 pound of fat, 2 pounds of fat, and how physical activity plays a part in maintaining energy balance. If you're trying to stay the same, lose weight, and the opposite would be if you're trying to gain weight and muscle mass. But obviously we're all geared towards, in this video, losing body fat. So if you like this video, please like it. Also, don't forget to share it with somebody that might be interested in trying to figure out energy balance and what it would take to actually lose the weight and break it down a little bit further. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get some similar videos all geared towards weight loss. And I hope to see you next time.